Welcome to our official press conference ahead of the fights on Easter Sunday, all brought to you by No Limit Boxing Promotions. Ben Damon is my name. Cannot wait to call these fights on Easter Sunday and to tell you the schedule for the day. Of course, it all starts at 8:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, so daylight savings will end on that day. The prelims begin on Fox Sports, then from 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, the main card will be on Main Event, and of course we're going live into the United States as well on Prime Video, but Main Event here in Australia is available via Foxtel and KO. Your main event, it is being termed The Rise. It is Australia's former world champion Tim Tszyu, who takes on an undefeated fighter, the world number 12 in Denis Nurja. That is your main fight, but a stacked undercard, as you can see, and you'll see all of those fights this Sunday on Fox Sports and on Main Event. I'll talk firstly to the promoter of this event before we talk to the fighters and get up to the top table to talk to the main event combatants. It is George Rose who joins us up in the middle of the top table. George, just have a look around. It's quite a bit of talent we have here at these couple of tables. You must be excited about Easter Sunday this year.
Yeah, look, it's a hell of a card that we've put together here. Really excited to be heading back to Wollongong. We've only been to Wollongong 3 times in the past, and every time we've had something special. We've had some big knockout finishes, some big upsets, and we've put together a card that every fighter on this card has got a really tough challenge ahead of them, and it gives them that opportunity to create something special for themselves in Wollongong, and they're going to have to, because this is Tim Tszyu's 30th pro fight, his first time fighting in Wollongong, and I'm expecting something big from Tim Tszyu this weekend on Easter Sunday.
You've taken some risks throughout your promotional time. Are there any fears about what is going on this Sunday, given what is being talked about as next for Tim Tszyu? When you look to your right, do you have concerns about Denis Nurja?
Look, every fight is a risk, but I got every faith in every one of my fighters. I know that Tim Tszyu is without a doubt one of the best in the world, and I know that he can show that. He is coming up against a very tough opponent, and most people don't take these sort of difficult fights. You know, coming off a world title loss, Tim Tszyu has then gone into 2 undefeated opponents. This guy is undefeated. 20 times he's stepped into the ring in 7 countries, and every time he's stepped in, no matter what's gone wrong in them fights, he's walked away as a winner. He doesn't know what defeat feels like. So he walks into this ring with every bit of confidence on Easter Sunday, but he's coming up against Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu is the guy in this division who's going to take it to the next level.
George, can you do us a favour and end the speculation? Can you confirm that if Tim Tszyu wins this fight, he fights against Errol Spence? It's been talked about right around the world that that is what is next for Tszyu with a victory. Can you confirm that for us here today?
There's big fights ahead for Tim Tszyu on the back of this, without a doubt. Errol Spence is a guy that I'd love to make that fight happen. There's guys like Jamel Charlo, Keith Thurman just fought on the weekend. There's fights that we can make happen that are really special fights on the back end of this, but you don't want to talk about that because this guy's ranked number 12 by the WBA. You don't get that from being a bum. You know, this guy's a very, very good fighter. So you don't want to look past that. I know that you love to talk about what's happening in the future, but what's happening on Easter Sunday is Tim Tszyu is fighting a world-rated fighter in Wollongong.
Just blink twice if it's done, George. All right, well, we'll wait and see exactly what does happen. What do you think happens? You will have looked at this main event. Of course, you know about Denis Nurja. You know about Tim Tszyu. How do you think this fight finishes?
Man, I love Tim Tszyu. I think Tim Tszyu beats everybody in the world. But this fight in particular is one where he's in the second camp with his new team. I think he'll only be better for it. We saw a lot from him in his last fight. Another camp with the new team, I think we'll see him grow again. And it's exciting to know that coming into his 30th fight, we are going to see new things from Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu's already been a guy that we've all been on the journey for, that he's had so many great fights over his career to get to this point. The fact that he's still got more growth in him and more to give and more to offer, I think that's exciting for all of us and a good reason for us to all to tune in and see what Tim can bring. Because like I said, I'm expecting something special. It's Easter Sunday. Timmy's bringing the chockies on Easter Sunday in Wollongong.
We've got the heavyweights as well. Nelson Asifa Solomona is in action against Jared Wallace. We're all excited to see what happens in that heavyweight contest. What do you think happens, George?
No, well, look, I was stoked about how Nelson performed in his first fight. He was big, he was powerful, he gave us a knockout. That's what we want to see from our heavyweights. These two guys have fought before. You know, Jared's had over 200 games in the NRL. He's been against some of the toughest guys in rugby league, so he's never taken a backward step. And these two guys fought before in an exhibition match. Now, an exhibition match in boxing is a little bit like a training try in rugby league. They don't matter. I scored over 347 trainer tries in my career. That's more than Alex Johnson. I did not get a statue for that. You don't get statues for training tries, and exhibition matches don't matter. What matters is what happens for these guys on Sunday.
Tell us about Sam Goodman. He's the king of Wollongong. He's going back home this Sunday, which will be a big occasion for him, made even bigger by the fact that it is a world title eliminator against Rodrigo Ruiz, who joins us from Argentina.
Yeah, look, and Sam Goodman's back at his natural weight. Sam's had a very unlucky 12, 18 months between the injuries and then the, having his first defeat in the world title shot in a heavier weight, mind you. He's now back at his weight where 21 times he's been undefeated at this weight. 21 times he's shown that he's one of the best guys in the division, and this is a huge opportunity for him to get back to what we remember Sam Goodman was like at this weight, because Inoue might be at the top of the tree in this one. If Inoue wasn't the undisputed champ, this is the type of fight that would be for a world title. He's got a very, very tough opponent who is world title calibre as well. But Sam Goodman, this is his hometown. This is his hometown. The Mad Bunch will be there, and I think it's a really good opportunity, not only for Sam Goodman to step up and remind everyone what he can do, but for the Mad Bunch to step up and remind everybody what they bring to the Wollongong Entertainment Centre. I think it'll be a fantastic day down there on Easter Sunday, and I think it's a good opportunity for Sam to really step it up again. This is a fight that I think it'll be one of the most entertaining fights that we've seen from Sam Goodman. He had a fantastic performance down there against Mark Schliebs, where he stopped him in a very exciting match. This could be one of them ones where he's pushed to that point where he makes that happen again.
And I know you're excited about Callum Peters and Paulo Auso, both of them fighting against big punches in their fights this Sunday.
Yeah, you're talking about the two best rising stars in Australian boxing. Callum Peters, in only his sixth professional fight, taking on a very tough one. This one will be exciting. This is one of them fights where both of the fighters, they really press the pace. If you haven't seen Callum fight, that's the type of fighter he is. He's very high intensity, very high action, but his opponent is going to be as well. So this will be the one that I think this might even break CompuBox. They're going to break the system with the amount of punches that these boys will be throwing. So look forward to that fight. And and it's also a huge opportunity for Paulo, because I think he's the best light heavyweight in the country. This is a chance for him to put everybody else on notice, because I know everybody else is talking and I know that he wants a piece of them. So this is his chance to make a big statement in a very, very tough fight, to really put them on notice and see what can happen in the later stages of the year, because this whole card, everybody's got a really tough challenge in front of them, but it'll open the door for a big year.
George, finally, best place to watch it, of course, is on Main Event in front of the television on the lounge. But if you can get to Wollongong this Sunday, are there any tickets?
Yeah, look, head to ticketmaster.com or follow the nolimitboxing.com.au website if you're not registered already. Check out that, ticketmaster.com, get your tickets, head down, watch it all live in Wynn Entertainment Centre. If you can't be there, watch it on Main Event and KO Sports.
Thank you so much, George Rose. Let's talk to the fighters now. This man will be opening the card at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. He's Paulo Auso, undefeated in 9. He takes on Kittapong Jean Hao Ho, who comes to us from Singapore via Bangkok in Thailand. He's a big puncher as well. Paulo, have you had a good look at him?
Yeah, I had a good look at him. He's got a good record. 13 wins, 12 knockouts. These are the opponents I go for. But at the end of the day, I show how easy these international fighters are.
Good opportunity for you, not only on Main Event again on the pay-per-view broadcast, but also live into the United States. You must be excited about that.
Yeah, 100%. I'm on another Tszyu card, and the last time I was on a Tszyu card, I put in a performance, and I'm ready to do it again.
A lot of talk about what might be just down the track for you. Kira Rustin is a name that everyone talks about. He's another star around your weight division. Is that a fight that you want next?
100%. I'll take that fight anytime. I feel like, the fights that I've been having, I feel like Kira Rustin has fought nowhere near close to the level that I've fought. So, I feel like it'll be a big step for him, and I feel like it'll be a good fight for Australia.
And your final words on what happens in your fight this Sunday?
taking him out for sure.
Thank you. That is Paulo Auso. We'll head down on that front table to Callum Peters, who is 5-0 as a professional boxer. He's a Commonwealth Games silver medalist and Olympian as well. And he takes on a fellow undefeated fighter who also has a 100% knockout ratio in Delio Muzzino. Callum, you have had a good look at your opponent. Gee, he can punch as well. This should be an entertaining fight.
I'm scared. So what I'm doing now is going to be a good fight. Good knockout puncher. I'll watch a bit of his fights as well. Very, very hard in the first minute. Likes to pace himself after the first minute. But so it's going to be a good fight. These good fights are going to put himself out there in the pro scene, and good experience for me as well. Very, very excited to fight in Wollongong as well. Haven't been there before, so it's going to be really good. On an Easter day, this is going to be cool. Easter bunny. I'm very, very excited.
Do you try and change your style at all, given you are going in against a man who's just going to come in there trying to take your head off, or we see the standard Callum Peters?
No, just so like I said before, I know he's going to come in hard for that hard left hand shot he has, his southpaw. Just got to set my right hand up and just be more cautious when I come forward.
Anything else for us, Callum? People are watching to see how you talk before you fight. What do you got for us?
It's going to be a lot of punches, a lot of shots, and it's going to be a hard day. Thanks for everyone coming down and watching, and thank you, Dylan, for having me on.
Thanks so much. That is Callum Peters. We'll head to the fight that will be our co-main event on Sunday. It is a world title eliminator at super bantamweight, and it is Sam Goodman against Rodrigo Ruiz. We'll go firstly to the visitor from Argentina, and we do have a translator, Ash, who is going to help us here. Just firstly, how long has he been in Australia, and how's he feeling about this fight?
Hola, Rodrigo, aquí. Hola, quiero saber, pero ¿cuándo llegaste por Australia y cuánto semana o día estás aquí?
Llevo 5 días estando aquí, y muy contento, ¿no?, por esta gran chance. La verdad que estoy súper entrenado y esta va a ser mi gran pelea.
I've been here for 5 days. I've loved being here so far, and I'm so honoured to have this opportunity. And
What does he think of Sam Goodman?
¿Qué tú crees de Sam Goodman?
Que es un buen boxeador, pero yo vine a hacer mi pelea, a llevarme este triunfo y sé que va a tener que ser por la vía del knockout.
I think Sam's a really good boxer. He's not an easy boxer to fight, and I would love to come for a knockout.
His prediction is a knockout. This is a huge fight, a world title eliminator. Does he think he can stop Sam Goodman in this fight?
¿Tú crees que tú puedes parar a Sam Goodman en esta pelea?
¿Cómo?
¿Tú crees que tú puedes parar a Sam Goodman en esta pelea?
Y no es fácil, pero nada imposible tampoco, y vine preparado para eso.
I mean, it's not easy. Nothing's easy. Obviously, any knockout is not easy, but I've come prepared for that result.
Thank you so much, Ash, and thank you, Rodrigo
Gracias.
Ruiz, as we now head down to Wollongong's own former world title challenger, Sam Goodman. Sam, he's saying he's going to come to your hometown and knock you out. How do you feel about that?
Zero chance. There's no chance he's coming home and he's taking that from me. This is my chance to get back to the top, and man, I'm taking this guy and taking everything from him.
Have you seen much of him, your opponent?
Yeah, he's a strong fighter. He is. He's strong. He can punch, but look, levels, and that's what I'm going to show on the day, and I'm going to show him the better fighter.
How hungry are you, Sam, having gone to the top of the tree and fallen just short of winning that world title? This is a world title eliminator. You're just a couple of steps away.
Yeah, look, I don't want to talk about what's next. This fight's been flying under the radar a bit, and look, after I punch his head in, we can talk about what's next, but I'm firmly focused on this.
What about Wollongong on Easter Sunday? How's the Mad Bunch feeling about dedicating their Easter long weekend to supporting you in their hometown?
They're excited, man. They're going to be there in all their... look, it's going to be a packed crowd like always. They're going to be rowdy, and it's going to be good. So hopefully they can stay in this whole time. Last time I think they were, the security a bit tough on them and kicking them out. So I'm going to have a big support base, a big crew coming out, and I'm excited tonight.
I'm sure it wasn't their fault. Sam, your prediction, he said knockout. Do you think you can stop him?
Oh, absolutely. It's win at all costs for me. I'm not looking at predictions or anything like that. It's win at all costs and do whatever I got to do to get that win, man. And look, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to taking everything from him.
Thank you so much, Sam Goodman and Rodrigo Ruiz. That is your co-main event at Super Bantamweight, a world title eliminator. Now we'll talk to the big boys down the front as well and start down the end of the front table with Jared Wallace, who's making his professional boxing debut against a man he fought in an exhibition. A lot of people, Jared, ran away from Nelson. You ran towards him. Why is that?
Well, that's what we do. We're front rowers. We never take a backward step. Like when I spoke to Georgie the first time, it was almost going to be a 3-week turnaround, and I was happy to take a frontward step then. You know, I got an extra 2 weeks, which has been good. But you know, he's big, he's powerful. I've got respect for him. But there's plenty of flaws. You know, Craig Bellamy seen it. That's why they sacked him. So it's time for me to come in and find it in boxing now. So I'm excited for the fight. It's going to be fun, and we're going to go at it.
Nelson, would you like to respond straight away to what Jared has just said?
No comment. See you soon, boy.
Jared, what do you think you can do against Nelson? He's obviously a big heavyweight. What is it that you believe you possess that beats him in this fight?
Yeah, well, look, he had an impressive fight against Latzy. Don't get me wrong, but Latzy's not a fighter. You know, he's a lover, that fella. So, I'm going to, like we've always said all week, take him into some deep waters, get him in deep rounds, and you know, we're just going to throw bombs at each other. That's what heavyweights do. That's what everyone wants to see. So I'm keen for it. I can't wait to take a frontward step at it.
They're talking about this several fight plan for Nelson. You're just the starting point of it. Do you feel a bit disrespected by all that?
Well, mate, he's walking around like Tszyu at the moment. He gets off a private jet. You know, he's sitting in here like real confident. Like, fuck me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's got to get through a beer before he gets
put me into it.
But do you know what I mean? Like, so don't discount me, man. Like, I've been training hard. I'm excited for this. Like I said, we fought before. There's a lot of mutual respect there. But, you know, this is going to be a tough fight for both of us. And I'm excited to take that frontward step.
Have you felt a lot of support? Do you think the NRL community is behind you in this fight?
Oh, look, I think everyone, would love to see me go in and knock him out. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's a big man, and he's going for highlight reels, and fuck, it'd be nice to get one myself. But, you know, there's been great support, NRL, outside of that, and, hopefully I can do him proud.
Do you want to give us a prediction? You think you take him into deep waters. Do you reckon you get him out of there late?
No, we'll just wait and see on Sunday, but that's my plan.
All right, thank you so much. Jared Wallace, I'll go straight to 1-0 knockout artist Nelson Asafa Solomona, who gave us a no comment there, but what are you thinking happens in this fight, Nelson? First time around, you took out Jeremy Lattimore early. What do you think happens against Jared Wallace?
Oh man, the last time that we fought was 18-ounce gloves. You know, with the big boys now, we've got the 10-ounce gloves now. It's going to be a demolition job, and it's going to be even more devastating.
Do you believe the confidence that he's brought here today and that he's had throughout this entire promotion, or do you feel maybe he's trying to talk himself into it?
I think he's trying to talk himself into it. You know, he's pretty confident, you know, with his game plan. But you know, like Mike Tyson said, you know, everyone's got a game plan till they get punched in the face. And I really feel once he feels that 10-ounce gloves, you know, he's gonna feel the shock of his life.
Are you surprised that he's so confident after what happened in that exhibition fight? Because it was early days for both of you, but it was clearly a fight that you won. Are you surprised he's taken so much from it?
Look, you know, he has to hold up his part of the deal. He needs to promote the fight. You know, he needs to, you know, get eyes on the 5th of April. But you know, I guarantee it's going to be a highlight reel finish. You know, for me, and you know, everyone fire up their barbecues wherever you are in the world, or you know, chuck on the fight on 5th of April. You know, I'm going to put on a show.
And what happens from here, Nelson? There's been a lot of talk about your plan. What do you think happens immediately after this fight against Jared?
Man, after this, you know, I'm not even looking at, honestly, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at Jared, and I'm going to make sure, you know, I live up to everything that I've said in this press conference, make that happen, and then we can take the next step.
Okay, thank you so much, Nelson Asafa Solomona and Jared Wallace, who we'll see in that heavyweight fight as part of this pay-per-view broadcast on Sunday on Main Event. Now we head up to the top table, and it is Australia's former world champion in Tszyu against the undefeated world number 12 in Denis Nurja from Albania. His translator does join us here today as well, so I'll start by talking to Denis and to Adelie, who has joined us to translate. Firstly, welcome to Australia to Denis. How has he enjoyed his time here in this country so far?
Ai tha, ie mirëpritur këtu në Australi edhe si po kalon në kohët që ke kaluar këtu në Australi.
Përshëndetje të gjithëve. Jam shumë i mirëpritur këtu në Australi, jam i lumtur për mikpritjen që më kanë bë, edhe ndjehem shumë mirë. Ndjehem shumë mirë.
He said, hello everyone, and thank you for coming out. He has really enjoyed his time here in Australia. He feels so welcome. He's been very welcomed by the organisation and how everything is run, and he's just really, really glad to be here.
And clearly he comes here to win. How does he think he wins this fight against Tszyu?
Ti ke ardhur këtu për të fituar, për të fituar, më fal. Edhe I tha, si e ndjen veten? Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How does he think he wins?
Oh, si e ke planën për të fituar?
Po normal, jam I përgatit shumë për këndeshje. E vlerësoj shumë Tim Tszyu-n. Është një boksier shumë I fortë, por si çdo sportist, boksier që I ka hije duhet t'japi maksimumin, edhe unë këtu kam ardhur vetëm për të fituar.
He said he's trained really hard to be here and he has a lot of respect for Tim. He values him as a fighter, but obviously he's been putting in the work behind the scenes and he's actually come here to win.
Does he feel disrespected by all the talk about Tim's next opponent potentially being Errol Spence?
Këtë është pyetjen që kemi folur. Nëse Tim fiton, ai ka tjetër ndjeshën me Errolin, si e ndjen vete për këtë, ndjen veten që je nënvlerësuar sepse njerëz kanë filluar për të flasur për atë?
Nuk e kam problem se njerëzit flasin, mund të flasin çfarë duan. Jam mësuar me fjalët e njerëzve, thjesht jam I bind me veten time që kam ardhur për me fitu.
So he said he's used to people talking, people will always talk, and he doesn't really care what people have to say because he's based here in the present, and we're going to see what happens on Sunday.
And should he win this fight, what does that mean for him in his life and his boxing career?
Edhe nëse ti fiton, do të thënë këtë për jetën tënd, për karrierin tënd, ç'vlerë ka?
Kjo fitore është një hap shumë I madh për karrierën time, për jetën time. Është, të them, shpërblim I gjithë këtyre kohave, viteve që kam bë stërvitje, edhe shpresojmë do e fitojmë edhe do jap maksimumin, do jap më të mirën.
He said that the win would be a massive step in his life, in his career. It would be the culmination of 20 years of training, 20 years of sacrifice, sacrifice to his life and the effort that he's put in. And it would be such a gift for him. So he's really gunning for a win on Sunday because it would just mean so much to him.
Okay, thank you, Denis. Thank you, Adelia, as well, for translating Denis Nurja from Albania. And now we head to Australia's former world champion in Tszyu, who is here for this big fight, his 30th professional fight this Easter Sunday. Tim, how does it feel? They're calling it the rise. Is that what it feels like you're coming back to the top?
It's good to be back, that's for sure. It's good to be back home. Thank you to everyone to making this event possible. It's a pleasure to be on such a stacked undercard with so many familiar faces and crazy talent underneath me. Yeah, it is the rise. I feel like I did fall apart. I am putting the wheels back in motion, and I'm gunning straight back to that number one spot. And whoever is in the way of that, they're in danger. So the next guy in front of me is this guy. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I know what he possesses, what he brings. Another undefeated, yes. And I'm just looking to put my work into action.
We know you've been working hard and we know it's a work in progress with your new team. What changes should we expect from last time we saw you?
Yeah, I think there's obviously each training camp you wanna bring out something new, something different. You wanna learn something that you haven't previously brought into the ring. So yeah, I think stylistically be a bit more smarter. I feel like I've got natural talent that I possess also a lot of skills that I've developed over the years. So yeah, I'm just looking to get in there, stay active, and just have some fun. You know, this is what it's all about. When you put passion and love for a certain thing and you put it all into action, amazing things happen. And Saturday night in the US, magic will happen again, once and again.
Yeah, this fight is live in Australia, of course, and in the United States. There are comments from around the world that maybe your time is done as a top-level professional, as a potential world champion. Do you feel you've got a point to prove against a lot of people this Sunday?
Oh, look, everyone's going to have something to say at certain times. It's just part of being in the spotlight, being up in a certain level. But yeah, I'm not there to prove to anyone. I know what I possess, I know what I'm good at, and I just can't wait to get in there against another undefeated opponent and have some fun.
What do you think of Denis Nurja? You watched him the other day. I'm sure you've seen some of his fights as well. What is going to be in front of you on Sunday?
I think he's good. I think he's 20-0 for a reason. What is European level, 6 times national champion. I know he's been watching my Buckram fight. I know all of them, they watch the Buckram fight. Even the last opponent, they watch the Buckram fight. I sleep. When I go to sleep, I sleep with my right hand on my chin. That left hook's not coming. So as much as he's practicing his left hook, don't worry, my right hand is here. And I'm very well aware that that's what they're thinking and that's what they're practicing. Oh, the Buckram left hook, that's Tim's kryptonite. Watch. Sunday, we see.
We know that you've taken risks before, sometimes successfully, sometimes unsuccessfully. This is no doubt another risk because we know what is meant to be next, this Errol Spence fight that is talked about a lot. How do you feel about taking another huge risk this Sunday?
Well, that's what I always do, man. I always just put it all on the line. And I'm just confident in myself, so look, of course everything's a risk, but you got to put it all on the line. We're in this sport for a short, minimal amount of time, and you just got to make the most of every opportunity, you know. I'm gonna change myself to a certain extent, but I just can't wait to get in there and bang on and let the dog come out.
Fantastic, a great way to finish it. That is your main event, Tszyu and Denis Nurja. We're going to face off these two main event fighters up at the top table with our promoter George Rose in between them. So Denis, if you'd like to join Tim and face off. Yeah, let's have a round of applause for all of the fighters who have joined us here today ahead of this stacked card that you'll see on main events this Easter Sunday. It is Australia's former world champion Tszyu with the undefeated Denis Nurja. You'll see it all live on main event.